In this video, we're going to cover how the Katana Shopify integration supports make-to-order workflows. So as a manufacturer, of course, you'll probably sell many products from stock, so the Katana Shopify integration works great. Sales orders come in, stock values get updated on your Shopify store. However, a lot of manufacturers are doing make-to-order workflows, such as custom configured order, custom make-to-order, assembled order. And if you're doing those, then you won't actually start the manufacturing process until the customer sales order comes through, which means you don't have product of those items. Now, in the previous videos, we talked about how the Shopify sales order changes also get directly reflected to Katana sales order whenever a change takes place, so that way it will update the sales order on the Katana side to reflect what happened in real life with your customer. But if any of those Katana sales orders have a linked manufacturing order, then what happens? And that's what we're going to cover in this video. So let's go ahead and start this off with our roasted coffee store, and let's go ahead and make a custom order. This custom order will be for our custom coffee blend. So this would be like a product that you wouldn't carry in stock. The customer would contact you and say, I want such, 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 and such. And then you would go in there and make it from scratch. For example, I do have this item in our Katana account, but it has a very basic recipe. It's just the green beans that would go into the roasting process, and then any additional ingredients or any additional operations will be added directly to the manufacturing order. So we'll go ahead and add this in here, and we'll process the order for 10 units. Collect payment mark as paid. And then that should now import into our Katana account once this order is finalized. This is order 1038. Now here in the Katana sales list, you'll see 1038 listed like so, and also you'll see that there are 10 pieces. Now if this is a make-to-order manufacturing order from sales, then what I would do in Katana is I would press the make-to-order button. And what this will do is this will take 1038 order number and push it into the manufacturing queue as 1038, which is specifically linked to custom coffee blend. Now, when it comes to manufacturing and when it comes to changes in sales orders, there are a lot of dependencies. Firstly, if a change takes place on the sales order side, that's fine. The quantity of units could change, or an item can get added in, or an item can get removed. But when it comes to the manufacturing side, if the sales order has come through and you've pressed the make to order button, then it means it's sitting in the queue ready to go for your manufacturing team. But then there's going to be a status for that manufacturing order. Either the status will have changed to not started, or it could be anything past not started. So for simplicity, we're going to break this down as not started and then everything else. Everything else includes blocked, work in progress, or done. As you can see, those three would appear below here. So depending on what happens to the sales order and what happens to the manufacturing order is very much dependent upon the status of the linked manufacturing order to sales. Now, it's a lot easier to make changes when anything is in a not started status. So for example, we have 10 kilograms of green beans that are required to make these 10 pieces of custom coffee blend. Now, if the sales order changes for 1038 to make, let's say, 5, then as we had already covered previously in the other videos, when a sales order changes on Shopify, it reflects the changes on Katana. But if that Katana sales order has a linked manufacturing order, then what will it do to that manufacturing order when that happens? So let's say we take that order and we edit it and we adjust the quantity from 10 to 5. And once this is updated, that will push the change directly into our Katana sales order list. So when you go to the sell screen and you look at order 1038, you'll see that the quantity of product has updated. But since this has a linked not started manufacturing order, then what will happen on that side is the linked not started manufacturing order will also update to a planned quantity of 5 pieces. Now, those 5 pieces also have a different demand against your material. So instead of committing 10 kilograms of the green beans from stock, you're only now committing 5 kilograms of the green beans from stock, as would be reflected to that change for the sales order. What makes this very handy is that when something's happening on the sales side, it affects everything with respect to that manufacturing order. It reflects the changes for the manufacturing order, what is the planned amount that has to be made. It reflects the amount of quantity of ingredients that have to be consumed. And that also puts demand on your stock as well, which can be increased or decreased. So everything gets affected. And having those real-time changes that are coming from the customer demand transpose all the way to your material demand is a really big thing that can deliver a lot of value for a make-to-order business that deals with a lot of changes with its clients. Now, when those changes take place, that's totally fine, and everything is pretty straightforward. If, for example, the same item that's inside of the sales order gets deleted, that's linked to the manufacturer, as long as it's not started, it will also be deleted. Now, if things were to adjust in a slightly different way, what happens if this manufacturing order has been adjusted to, let's say, a work in progress? Then what will happen if something happens to changes on the sales order? So when a change takes place to a sales order linked to a manufacturing order that's already a work in progress, then we start to have some more challenging areas. So Katana has built in some notifications with respect to how those changes on a sales order linked to an already started manufacturing order would occur. So let's go ahead and make a simple change to our sales order by adjusting the quantity one more time. Instead of 5, let's go ahead and swap it out for 3. Now, when this is done and we update the order, the change will be pushed back into the sales order list as expected. So we'll go to the sell screen here, and you'll see that the change is updated to 3 pieces. But when we go over to the manufacturing queue, then you're going to see something a bit interesting here, which is a little yellow sign. And that yellow sign, if we select it, will show you that the product quantity changed from 5 pieces to 3 pieces in linked sales order 1038. Katana unlinked the manufacturing order to keep your production plans unchanged. Would you like to restore the link and update the production quantity to 3 pieces? So if you have a situation where you're presently in the middle of something, then you can actually make those changes in one quick click and update everything as needed, such as changing the planned quantity on this manufacturing order. The reason why we throw this notification out for you is to let you know that you wouldn't want to be in a situation where, let's say, your manufacturing team has already completed a couple of those pieces of product and then all of a sudden get thrown a monkey wrench while they're in the middle of their work and they have to do less. Instead, we make that notification for you so it brings up a red flag, and you as the manufacturing manager can make an executive decision, contact your people and say, okay, where are you guys at with making these? This is what has changed, and then decide if you want to carry on with the old plan or move to a new plan with respect to the changes. So all of these are very important. Imagine if you're working with 50 or 60 manufacturing orders simultaneously, and then you have a linked Shopify store and a few salespeople on that end making changes to your make-to-order workflows. Not something that any manufacturing manager would want to deal with, but in a case like this, it would generate a huge amount of value to allow you to know exactly what it is that you need to do with respect to those changes. So that little change log will facilitate and help you when it comes to dealing with those changes through your Shopify store with make-to-order products. Now, in addition to that, something that would be important to take note of is that if a sales order gets deleted, so let's say, for example, that our linked sales order here were to go into, let's say, a cancellation, and the customer chooses to cancel the order after it has already been pushed to manufacturing, then what will happen with that manufacturing order is this. It will say that this product was removed from the linked sales order 1038 and the manufacturing order has become unlinked and thus switched over to a make to stock workflow. So when Katana unlinks the orders from sales and the manufacturing side, for cases like that, you have the option to adjust the quantities, but you also have the option to keep it as a make to stock workflow too, if that takes place. So anytime that the manufacturing order is currently being worked on, we put those in place to facilitate no changes in your schedule, but also give you the notifications as needed for you to make better decisions. Anyhow, I hope you found that helpful. This is how Katana is designed to support make-to-order businesses. So feel free to reach out to our team if you have questions about this or any suggestions.